Hello, I have discovered some life changing information about your brain and how we store our memories that will completely change the way that you look at your life and how you're showing up. And it has the ability to shift things for you if you really allow it. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to start by drawing you a picture. This is not at all artistically correct, but this is your brain. And I'm going to cut it in half. So over here is the long-term memory. And on this side, we have the short-term memory. Now, I've made this in a way that it should be able to be digestible by pretty much anyone watching. Okay, so in the long-term memory, you have these little file cabinets that store information, and we call them nodes. So this could be a node for all the different kinds of cars that you know, or how to tie your shoes. It's whatever information that you need to be able to live your life. Between these nodes are neural pathways so that your brain can easily recall the information and send signals to other parts of your body that need it to be able to do whatever you need to do that day. This is the gist of what your long-term memory is like. All these neural pathways and these nodes that are storing information, collecting information, and then processing information. Now, as you go about your day, what happens is you will learn new information that will come into your brain. So for instance, I have a dog and his name is Murphy. So this little green dot that I just drew for you, that's Murphy. And he's currently in your short-term memory. Tonight, when you go to sleep, you're going to go through different stages of sleep. One of those stages of sleep is called REM sleep, rapid eye movement. Your eyes will literally go back and forth inside of your head while you are sleeping. And what's happening during this stage is it's as if you have this little filer guy who hangs out between the short-term memory and the long-term memory. And what he's going to do is he's going to take the information from the short-term memory and file it away appropriately where it belongs in the long-term memory. So he's going to say, oh, today you learned that Colleen has a dog named Murphy. Dogs actually go right here. So during REM sleep, he's going to take it, he's going to file it away over there into that node where it belongs. And then tomorrow when you wake up, you will remember that I have a dog and his name is Murphy. So let's say, I like to give the example of pretend that you are in like 7th grade history class and you're doing a presentation and you have this paper that you're reading off of and it's held up in front of your face and you're trying to just get through this presentation and all of a sudden you can hear your classmates are starting to like whisper. So you bring your paper down and you peek over it and you notice that they're looking at you, they're whispering, maybe they're pointing, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. And you just put your paper back up over your face and you keep reading it as fast as you can, and your armpits are getting sweaty and your face is all red and you just can't handle it. And you're like, oh my God, this is the worst day of my life. And you finish your presentation and you go home that day and you try to talk to your parents about what happened. Here's this little red dot. That's your presentation that you had in 7th grade history. And your parents just are not meeting your emotional needs for this conversation. They're like, it happens to everybody. Get over it. Tomorrow, nobody will remember. They try to tell you these things thinking that it's helping, but they're actually not processing through with you what just happened. So when you go to sleep at night, your little filer guy is, I have no idea where this goes. It's emotionally really heavy. It doesn't have to deal with school or necessarily friends, or I just really don't know where to put it. And then your filer person just leaves it there. And go by and you start to forget that it happened. And then you hit 12th grade and you have this senior project that you have to do. And as soon as they talk about this senior project and the fact that you're going to have to get up in front of the class and do it, your body has a reaction. And you have no idea why your body is reacting the way that it's reacting. Your stomach is, ooh, someone just punched me in the gut. Like I'm having shortness of breath. I'm getting anxious about this. I don't know why. What's happening is it's connecting to the earlier memory when you were in 7th grade and it's being connected subconsciously, unconsciously, because it was so long ago that you forgot that it even happened. But it's still there because you never actually processed it through. It never actually went to the long-term memory. And so it's affecting you as a senior. And this happens all the time, but we just aren't consciously aware that this is happening to us. And what I really want to share with you is that anything that is in the short-term memory, you'll know it's in the short-term memory, because if I were to ask you, hey, remember that thing? Does it still bother you? If you say yes, it's in the short-term memory. If something doesn't bother you anymore, like on a scale of 0 to 10, if you're a 0, it doesn't bother you at all, that means it's properly stored away in the long-term memory. But if I say, hey, when you think about this thing, how much does it bother you? If you give me any number between 1 and 10, it's still in the short-term memory. And the thing that's really important is anything in the short-term memory, it's going to bother us on that number between 0 and 10 currently, when you think about it now. The other thing is we create a negative belief about ourselves because of it. If you are feeling stuck in life and you're coming up against these issues that you're having and you're feeling like, I'm just not good enough, I'm just not smart enough, or I should have done this, or I'm not worth it, or I don't deserve it, or anything like that, any negative belief that you're carrying about yourself, it just didn't come out of nowhere. It is attached to something that previously happened to you that maybe you're not connecting the dots right now, but you will start to now that you've watched this video. And the last thing is we hold these things in our bodies. So remember how I said when you had to do that senior project, you started to feel it in your gut? So many people have gut issues because of experiences that they've been through that haven't been processed through correctly and aren't in the long-term memory. And so these things will start showing up as stress, anxiety, depression, physical health issues, headaches, blood pressure, digestive issues, chronic illness, so many things, asthma, like so many things will show up because of this issue that we have, that things are not being processed through appropriately. Okay. So I have a method that I call the zero impact method. And what we do is we find these roots of these issues and where it all started, and we take them and we process them over and store them away where they belong. So it's important that you know that when you feel stress or anxiety or depression or triggered in any way, so these short-term memories are what is actually being activated inside of you. So when you feel that activation, when you feel that trigger, allow it to be this key that is showing you that there's something deeper going on, right? Because everything that's showing up in our life now is a creation from something that we have thought or felt, right? Some experience that we've gone through has led us to feel and think a certain way, to view the world in a certain way. And that's why things are showing up now. Not because it's an issue now, but because this issue is actually a symptom of something from our past that we've been through. So now you have this little piece of the puzzle that you're able to look at what is currently happening in your life now that you don't prefer. And when you can see this is showing up for me and I don't like this, ask yourself, what am I making this mean about me? What is that negative belief that's hidden in here, right? Because something happened before and now I'm trying to validate that thing that happened before, but we're not doing that anymore. Now we're saying, what is this negative thing that I'm making it mean? And let's follow it back to a previous event that will show us where this pattern started so that we can now do the work and file it away appropriately where it belongs and clear that pattern away so that we don't have to deal with that anymore, so that we don't have to stay stuck in these cycles and we can heal ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. I hope you enjoyed this video.